To defy the odds, you have to risk everything and take chances. At Old Nation Brewing Company, we did just that. From an unknown startup brewery to standing alongside national craft brands in just under a decade, we remain one of the last of the large, independently owned breweries in Michigan. Our beer is respectfully brewed using only the highest quality ingredients, and we don't cut corners. With the times changing for everyone, one thing that stays the same is Old Nation's respect for great beer and the people who love it. We're growing in cans produced and fans made. When you taste our beer, you'll know why.
Thank you very much, Jeremy Otto, 248-539-9797. If you're just getting your cars, it's the Valenti Rico Show with me, Stoney, and for Mr. Valenti's got probably some horses on his mind. Needed a day to watch the Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby and do whatever Mike does at this time of the year. By the way, I took his recommendation and started watching the Netflix series with the family. We went through 3 episodes. It's pretty damn good.
You like it?
Yeah, and I actually texted Mike about 2 of the characters in this thing, and he said I was right on because one of them, I can't pronounce the guy's name, Figueroa or whatever his name is, looks like the biggest douche of all time, but he seems like a nice guy. If you can be a nice douche, he is that. And the other guy, Rapoli, whatever, he just looks like such an a-hole. And Mike said, yes, he's human filth.
That's the guy walking around with the jacket and no shirt on?
No, he's the douche. The douche is not. Rapoli's this guy, he call him Mike from Queens, that he's the guy who like is a St. John's like NIL guy.
He's that guy.
Oh,
gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
He's just disgusting. Anyway, so I would suggest checking that out. All right. Speaking of which, David has some Derby facts, fun and facts for us.
I sure do, Stoney. Some wonderful facts here on the Kentucky Derby. Let's start with this. The first time it was called Churchill Downs Racetrack was 1883, but the track itself wasn't officially named that until 1928.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I remember doing the radio show that day.
Making the announcement, It was a wonderful day. I'm pretty sure.
It was unbelievable, yeah. I guess Churchill probably was a sponsor, like paid money for it, just like they do today, right? I don't know. Does it say why it was named Churchill Downs?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. I never bothered to research that.
You know what? I never cared. But
are we familiar with the Explorer of Lewis and Clark?
Of course.
Yeah.
We are familiar, right?
Yes.
Well,
they took stagecoaches out to the West Coast, didn't they?
One Meriwether Lewis Clark Jr. was the grandson of the famous explorer from that group. He developed the Louisville Jockey Club, which then developed the Kentucky Derby.
Wow.
Seriously?
And I heard his great-great-great-grandson is going to be with the Tigers in 2028. Max Clark.
Yes. That is not true. It's not related to the Clark family. But
no,
yes.
I'm just going back to what you're
grandson.
reading. That's a wow.
Yeah.
So William Clark was his full name. We always say Lewis and Clark because of the group. But
yes.
Yeah, William Clark was his name, and his grandson, Meriwether Lewis Clark Jr., was part of the Louisville Jockey Club that then came up with the Kentucky Derby. So in 2015, that was a great year for the Kentucky Derby. The 141st running attracted the largest crowd in the history of the race. Care to guess how big the crowd was in 2015?
117,000. I don't know.
See, I don't think it's that big because that's you're looking at like NASCAR at that point.
I know.
Do you have a guess?
But the infield is packed.
Yeah, the infield is what does it, which kind of brings it to NASCAR levels. I was going to say 120, 25,000.
Wait, you can be on the infield for the horse racing? I thought they.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, yeah. See, I thought it was like a concentric circle where there's like other tracks inside. Maybe I got the different.
No, you could be in the middle.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go 75,000.
All right, it was 170,500.
Wow.
Okay, well, Stoney will
People
combine ours.
Packed the historic facility for they saw the eventual Triple Crown winner of American Pharoah. So that was a great 2015 in horse racing.
Yep.
They broke the record there for the largest crowd, and then you saw a Triple Crown winner. In 1954, yes, in 1954, the purse. We talked about the purse yesterday, how it is a full $2 million. The winner gets 1.21. The purse exceeded $100,000 for the first time in 1954. That's a lot of money in 1954.
Yes, it was.
A lot of money.
Now. I'll take it.
Very true, Rico. Very true. So we talk about disqualifications a lot with horse racing. It happens. There's cheating. It's all kind of things happening.
Well, there was one very recently with Bob Baffert's horse won the
Exactly.
Kentucky Derby and he got it disqualified.
Exactly. Well, the very first horse to face disqualification was in 1968. The horse was called Dancer's Image.
I
You remember this?
vaguely remember the name
Won
of
the
I
race.
remember the name of the horse.
Won the race, and then it was revealed after the race through a test that it had anti-inflammatory painkiller drug that was illegal, and they disqualified them.
Who won? Was it Majestic Prince?
It
that
was
year?
Forward Pass that ended up winning.
Did the horse
They had to
show
go to
up-
court, though.
Oh,
They went to
David.
court.
Did the horse show up to the press conference with a towel around its neck and explain?
All right.
forward pass in 1968. I tell you one thing: Bo Schembecker didn't bet on that horse.
So the horse had pain medicine.
It was illegal for them to have the anti-inflammatory painkiller medicine. Yes.
Okay.
So they were disqualified. That was the first one, though, in 1968. They started running this race a long time before that. That was the very first one to get disqualified. So the highest odds of winning a horse or winning a race,
2 years ago.
we do remember Rich Strike in 2022. That was 80-1, but that was not the highest odds to ever win the Kentucky Derby.
No.
91-1, Don Rail in 1913. I think we all remember 1913 well.
Why is everybody looking at me?
No. I'm looking at everyone.
Okay.
But Don Rail. But in our lifetime, we remember Rich Strike in 2022.
Right, because he was the horse that
80-1.
wasn't even supposed to be in the race.
That was we did our draft like we
Right.
do every year.
right.
Wasn't
And I-
included in the
And
draft.
I remember, what about this guy? And Mike was like, please, he's nothing. He's not going to do anything. I'm like, you sure? Yeah. And he
He
wins.
won the race.
He won the race.
It was crazy. 80-1. Wow. So I have a few more facts here. The fastest Kentucky Derby. I think we remember this, right? The horse that ran the fastest.
Is it 1801?
It was in 1973.
Oh, Secretariat.
Secretariat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Secretariat.
Is that the photo where was it the Kentucky Derby? It is a famous photo where it's
So
just,
far ahead.
Belmont. That was the Belmont.
Okay,
We won the
it's
Belmont.
just him running.
Yeah, that wasn't this one, but yeah.
And
It was the Belmont.
And you don't know the significance. Like, oh, that's a beautiful picture of a horse running. Like, no. That's how far
Yeah.
he was ahead of everybody else. Then they found out later his heart was like 3 times the
Correct.
size of a regular horse.
Correct. So it was 1 minute, 59 seconds. And then
I mean, imagine that you trained and your horse came in second, but you weren't going to ever beat him.
And you ran fast. You
Right,
ran well
your
enough.
horse probably would have set a
Right.
record that day. You just weren't going to beat him.
Right.
Well, the slowest winning time came in 1891, where Kingman ran for 2 minutes and 52 seconds for a mile and a half.
Okay, so wait, what was Secretariat's?
A minute and 59 seconds.
So yeah, I'm a minute
Over a minute longer than Secretariat.
It had to be a muddy,
Secretariat then took a shower.
a muddy track.
It doesn't say if it was a muddy track or not, but that's whoa.
There is a chance of rain tomorrow. I read, so that could
So
change everything.
You could have given Secretariat a full minute head start.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So let me go through a few stats here because post position is important when you're talking about winning this race.
Right.
Okay? So I'm going to give you a few guesses each. One guess each. That's what I'll do. One guess each on the post that wins the most percentage-wise. So what post do you want to be at?
I would say like 3 because you want to be close to the inside.
I was going to say 3. I'll say 2, I guess.
I'm going to say 5.
Okay, so I am going to give that to you, Rico, because it is a tie. 5 is
Thank
in on a tie. It wins 10.5% of the time, tied with the 20.
On the way outside.
Yes.
Well, there's
I
only
was
gonna-
let everybody
There's
beat
not
each
gonna have-
other up.
They
There
get
wa-
out there fast.
There was
and-
another scratch today, so it's going to be less than 20
Correct.
today. Grande. Grande.
Now the
this is one
scratch
thing-
was at the 10 post today.
Yeah.
To 10 post. Currently 10 post. There may be a replacement and you'll get another 10, but right now 10
Oh, that
is
was the
out.
horse I picked yesterday.
Grande, yes.
Yeah.
There was another one scratched last night. So Beza, who Mike selected that was not in the race yesterday, is now in the race, and now we may get another one for Grande.
Wait, I didn't. Wait, I had, what was it, Rodriguez or some, I had a horse that.
You had Rodriguez. I picked Grande.
So you okay? So your horse ain't running either.
Well, you better hope somebody gets at the 10 post because 10 post is number 3.
But David, here's the thing that I've learned with the other Mike sitting here horse racing. You don't want to be right on the 1, the 2, or the 3 spot, because when everybody just basically smush. If you don't get a fast start, you're dead. You're never gonna
Well,
win.
here's what I'll tell you. If you want to be at 2, that would be great for being in the money when it comes to the finish.
Right.
Because number 2, 27.4% of the time you're in the money, which is second, I'm sorry. Second for in the money, or first for in the money would be the 10 spot. Right now, we don't have anything in the 10 post. So 2 is good for the money, not good to win, because that's 7.4% of the time you will win if you're in the 2 post. So
Yeah, I know you don't want to be in the 1.
no, you're not going to win.
You guys, I mean, he gives dissertations in here. When he's in his horse racing mood,
I know.
oh, he just goes on and on and on. So if you
there
ever want to know why
is-
we're laughing, if you're ever watching the stream, he's talking horse racing stuff.
There is one post, and we'll finish it with this. There is one post that has never won. Never won. Never.
I'm going to guess, because he was a loser, 19 Scott Mitchell. 19.
See, I was going to say 18.
Not 19, not 18. Do you have a guess?
7? Oh,
13.
7?
No, I was trying to give you a
Oh,
hint there.
17.
19, not 19, not 18, but
17.
17.
Wow.
Trying to give him a clue there, but he didn't get it. So those are your Kentucky Derby facts. 97-1.